Not too late. It's never too late.
Greetings and welcome, friends. We're taking a gander at 2009 NECAP number 13. Back in the day, of the 1 point available, 0.2 was earned on average, suggesting that 20% of Twin Valley students were able to get this question correct, and 30% of students from the state of Vermont, VT, got this question correct. It says the following, non-calculadora, first of all. This list shows the values of x, y, and z. Write an inequality that orders x, y, and z from least to greatest. Now, this, by the way, x, this is in scientific notation, 4.03 times 10 to the negative 9th. All right, that's the same as 0.12345678403. All right, is what that number is equal to. All right, so there's x. Let's consider y for a second. That's 5.12 times 10 to the negative 8th. And that means 0 point, and there's going to be 7 zeros after the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 1, 2. So there's y. So between x and y, which one's larger?
X. Y is larger than X.
This one's only got 7 zeros. This one has 8 zeros.
Oh.
So this one would line up, if I lined them up better, would line up right there. So this one is larger. So so far I know that y is bigger than x. So x is smaller than y, right? Because from least to greatest. But now we've got to figure out what's going on with z. All right, z, it said, is the product of x and y. So if I have 4.03 times 10 to the negative 9th multiplied by 5.12 times 10 to the negative 8th, I can multiply 4.03 times 5.12. Because we're dealing with such small numbers, I'm just going to consider that 4 times 5 and get 20. Okay? Times 10 to the... And does anyone know what you do with exponents when you multiply two things of the same base?
What do?
You add them. So this is times 10 to the negative 17th, oddly enough. And if I wanted that in scientific notation, let's see, that'd be 2.0, 2 point something anyway, times 10 to the, and I guess that's my question, would I add or subtract to that exponent? Let's see, I shifted it one way this way, which is 1 less, so yeah, this would be negative 16, I would add to that. So 2.0 times 10 to the negative 16, that's like a point, a decimal point, and 15 zeros, and then the 2. So where does that put that in line as far as x and y?
It is less than X and
Yeah, it's very small compared to both of those. Now, even if you weren't able to do this, you might have been able to look at the problem and realize, hey, okay, here's a small number less than 1, here's a small number less than 1. If I multiply two numbers that are less than 1, they are getting even smaller, okay? So z had to be the smallest of those two. And then it was just a matter of realizing that a 10 to the negative 8 is larger than a 10 to the negative 9 is what's going on. So thanks for watching, Internet friends. Have a great day. Bye-bye.